Okay. Oh, we are back following Bob Ross's Joy of Painting tutorial, Season 3, Episode 11. This is going to be our third session following along. We haven't gotten real far yet, but we're just kind of getting started here. The link to see the tutorial in full has been just pinned in the chat. For those that would like to go and watch it in full, I have it on pause a lot and muted, so it's not like it's going to be running constantly. Now, last week when we left off, we had just gotten in some clouds and some sky, and this is where we're sitting. Thank goodness I did not open that yet. Whew. That would have been a disaster. Water everywhere. Okay. Now we haven't put the barn in yet. We're going to do our background trees first because some of them are going to be sitting behind the barn. That guy there, since the needle's out so we don't lose him. So our trees are kind of a plethora of colors here. We're going to go ahead and advance the tutorial and see if we can get Bob to advance here. Now our colors won't necessarily be the same colors that Bob's got, but you know, we can get it close. So he just kind of dropped in some purple guys. There was more than purple in there though. In the finished one. Because there he goes, cad yellow, yellow ochre, and red. He gets like an orangey color. Oh, is that what he did? Because we just looked at the final piece, so when we were doing our concept sketch, so I was just kind of winging it. So he kind of like highlighted on top of them, which is how he kind of got the reddy ones and the yellowy ones. Okay, well we're gonna do ours maybe a little bit different. We'll see. I mean, we can do the purple straight across and then go back in and add our other colors around it. I mean, that's fine. So why is he... I don't think that stays, does it? I don't remember that being in there. It might have stayed. I think he ended up turning it into grass though. Alright, So he's gonna put the barn in there. So we need to do something kind of like this. I'm gonna take ours all the way over to the far edge here. He's got something else sitting in there. That's fine. Ours can be a little bit different. Okay, so for this, we're looking for some purples. So what did I say these colors were? I gotta check my notes. So we said purple, so jam, rust, and glorious gold are our yarn colors. I'm kind of done with that blue. We could probably hang it back up. That's shinin. Wait, didn't I change it? No, we changed it to rust. It was shinin. Okay, well, there's our glorious gold. Probably in the bottom of my bucket. Nope, that's chocolate brown. Alright, there's our rust. And still got a color missing. Jam. Okay. Everybody else can go back in the bucky. Alright, so we're gonna start off with jam first here, I think. I haven't changed this one to one of the new bags yet. The new bags hold a lot more fat. I think I still have some bags left. I'm gonna have to get another box though. I'll just go ahead and swap this guy out now. And that bag was still serviceable, but I kind of wanted to swap to the larger bags so that way I can keep more fluffed at one time. Because yeah, see, look how much more fluff we can get in that guy. Alright. So we're gonna kind of make like some teardrop shapes. We're gonna try to make some teardrop shapes. Just a little bit of water. These guys are going to be of varying sizes. So we kind of want the bottom to be a little bit rounder. Then the top and it's okay if they're not 100% right where we want them to be. P-Butt, leave Momo be.
Is that what was happening?
Is he bothering you? Alright, he should be good now. He walked away.
It's okay, Momo.
Couldn't figure out why I was hearing growling behind me.
He's got a fucking attitude, he does.
Peabut was right next to him though. Or he wants outside time. Either is possible. I did just start stream. For some reason, whenever I start stream, Mr. Gurry Pants wants to go out. What's the matter, Momo? Now you're up.
That's because you said the words.
Buddy.
Ah, come on, Momo. Want outside time?
I think he was looking for grass earlier.
Was he?
He seemed like it, but maybe not really. I don't know. It was
Probably has tummy problems right now. He's adjusting to new food, and he had some turkey. Yeah. Come here. Oh, stretches. Come on, stretches.
He's just been having a heck of a time lately.
That was during because I had English muffin.
Oh, well, yeah.
That probably isn't helping.
No, he's expecting something. We're not allowed to eat in this house unless Momo gets some of it, apparently. Gonna get this guy worked into here. And you know, they don't have to be shaped perfectly. It's probably better if they're a little misshapen just a bit. I would, however, like the tip of that to either get worked in entirely or be a little bit more solid. So it's just kind of sitting there. And like the little strand up there was bugging me. That's okay. We'll just top that off. Alright, and that'll take care of that guy. Alright, I hope everybody had a good Easter if you celebrate. It's kind of quiet around here, like even traffic in town. I mean, for a holiday, it's usually a little bit light in the morning, and then it'll increase throughout the day, but it was pretty light, like most of the entire day. So I mean, that was a little bit of a change. So I'm just gonna put our row of purple in here. Or at least we're gonna try to get our row of purple in here. Also hope everybody's Monday's off to a decent start. We've got some potential weather happening tonight, so I'm not looking forward to that. Not really. think I could do without that. For sure. Make a slightly bigger guy here. So again, ours is going to look a little different than Babo's here. And that is quite all right. Now we can kind of get our shape figured out before we start tapping it in, and I'll probably have to come back over that guy and fill in any thin spots if we need to. Oh. I don't think Bob's trees were quite... there was a couple of tall ones in there. Well, my purple trees keep going skyward here instead of sitting on our horizon line. That's a little bit annoying, but maybe I can fix that with the next color of trees. That's a me issue, not getting it low enough. Thinking I'm low enough and then realizing, oh no, I wasn't low enough. That is totally a me issue. Alright. So we need a bit more of our purple here. Okay. So this guy's a little bit smaller. It's like we're gonna have some of the other tree colors in here. Doesn't have to be like a ton of the other colors though. We'll see what we can make happen. Probably should just use that whole bit of fluff there. I don't think we've used this color all that much. Maybe a little bit. Now there is gonna be another tree, like, where is it? Like down here that's gonna come up. So this might get entirely covered, but at least we know we did start out with it there. And, you know, some of it might end up peeking through the other tree a bit too, so. This one is much different than previous one, where it was just like all red. It just looked like we were setting a forest fire. So the last one was a bit scarier. This one I think we got this one. Feeling a lot more confident on this guy. Don't know about the barn angles and stuff, but I think we can muddle our way through on that one. Just want to give a little bit more love to the top of our tree here. Well, to the tree entirely. That one side got a little bit thinner than I necessarily wanted it to be. Okay, so there's the purple guys there. Let's see. Get this guy worked up here. Trying to figure out the best way to approach this guy. So he's gonna be a little bit thicker. So we want part of him hidden by our barn roof. Hopefully we can pull that off a bit. That's where it looks alright. Okay, then we'll have like another guy sitting there to kind of cover that little bit. Okay. That should be okay there. This guy, kind of tuck on up into here, or at least that's the idea. We'll see if that actually ends up working out. I think I'm making my trees a little too skinny though. I think we might have to beef these guys up a little bit. Alright. So this guy. Let's see what we can do with you. Alright. Now again, Bob has his going behind the barn. I'm kind of cutting ours off at the barn roof. Just, you know, for material waste sake and to keep our barn a little bit flatter. So it's not like all wobbly and weavy with all the layers of trees. If you want to take your trees all the way down to the ground in this part, feel free. But I also don't want to lose the outline of our barn as well, so that's another reason. That I'm doing it that way. Uh-oh. No more sneezes, please. At least no more sneezes right now. Been sneezing since I got up. Okay. Our tree's a little misshapen there. It looks like part of them's missing. Now we probably could have been a little more generous with the clouds, but I wasn't really feeling it. So I was like, well, our sky is just not as cloudy, and that's okay. Moobot's here. Sirens are going to be going by in just a second. Nothing I can do about those, so sorry. Alright, sorry about that. We live on a busy road. So there be sirens and traffic noise. That's just the way it is. Oh, got a few more sirens coming. All kinds of stuff going on today, it would seem. That was 2 sets of sirens. No idea what they were. Almost smells like they're doing a prescribed burn or something nearby. I've been doing quite a few of those. We do have a chance for some big hail tonight. That concerns me. Just a bit. I mean, they're talking like chance of baseball, golf ball to baseball size hail. I'm like, what? Like, oh no. Let's not have any of that. That's not cool. So I'm just checking our radar, keeping that up on one of my screens here. All right. So I was looking at the fuzzy posters, and I don't know if we're gonna actually buy one for one of our art streams or if we're just gonna do like a line art thing and color it in. I don't know. Haven't quite decided that yet. Have to think about that. Now you can make your own. I did see with one program something called Silhouette. You do need a few supplies though. You need like a sheet of black flocked paper, some kind of sticky backed paper, set of iron or something, I guess, to fuse stuff together. Heavy white cardstock or watercolor paper, and I'm like, wow. And like a Cricut machine or something similar, maybe the Silhouette machine, if you actually want it to be the fuzzy stuff. So then I wasn't sure if, well, I don't know. I was looking around. They're not that expensive. Though it did disturb me greatly that somebody had a vintage shop on Etsy and I thought Etsy was supposed to be like handmade stuff, but they had a vintage shop on there and they were selling a framed, colored in fuzzy poster that was not even, it was very streaky and stuff, and I was like, okay. I was very confused as to why they were selling it already colored in. I didn't know Etsy allowed that kind of shop on there. I guess. To me, that struck me as more of like an eBay thing. But I guess things have changed since I left Etsy, or maybe it's always been that way and I just didn't know. Still might reopen or open a new eBay store. Haven't decided. I might wait and do like one weekend of farmers market and see how it goes. We'll see. I need to see how much the little credit card readers are that you attach to your phone, though. See if they're worth getting. Alright. A little bit of a thin spot there, but I think we'll be able to deal with that. Got a little bit more space between these guys. Should probably thicken them up just a little bit, but let's see if we can get this guy. Just trying to shape him up a bit. It's pretty muggy. It feels like we're gonna get at least a regular thunderstorm tonight. if not something else. It's kind of showery nearby, so I'm hoping that these weather models were a little over passionate and that we don't actually get all this mess that they're potentially predicting for tonight. It looks like it might start like 5:30, getting near dinner time. And they've got us in potential for thunderstorms like straight through till like 5 a.m. tomorrow. I mean, we definitely need the rain. I could do without the severe shit though. That I'm not real keen on. Okay, so guess we need a couple more over here. On this guy. So these are just like the trees that he made with the 2-inch brush, and then went back in and kind of did some highlighty guys with his 1-inch. So they kind of have a slightly rounder bottom. All right, so we'll get this worked into here. We're not under any watches or anything yet, but we've still got a few hours to go before things might start getting interesting. Hopefully this evening and overnight's weather will be kind. And we'll be able to get through without too much damage. We've got the car as under the carport as it can be, so we'll see what happens. Did that make for a happy Momo?
Yes, it did. Sometimes you just need some time to sit out there and enjoy the breeze.
I mean, it's kind of warm in here.
Yes, it is.
I'll tell you, it definitely feels like we're gonna get something tonight.
Oh, you bet your ass.
With how muggy it is. Doesn't normally get that muggy here. It's usually like hot, but not quite this level of mug. Kind of feels like Florida mug. And let's use this last bit of jam that I've got pulled out here. I don't know, should I just use all of it? Had some water that had spilled. No, if we use that other bit, I think it's gonna be... You okay?
Uh-huh.
Probably gonna be a little much. Alright. So get this guy. That is pretty thick there. I probably got a little carried away. So we still have our other tree guys I want to work in here. Alrighty. So what color do I want to do first? Do I want to do the rust or do we want to do the golds? I think they're both kind of on the same layer, actually. So maybe we'll do one and then the other. I don't know. Alright, so I don't know if we're completely done with this shade yet. Kind of tuck him off to the side a bit. I think we're definitely done with that blue, though, because I've got a different blue for down here. I guess we'll go rust first because my glorious gold fell off the table. This is a new color that we picked up recently. It's not bad. Yes, P-Butt, what can I do for you? Alright, let me see. Oh, don't do that. Buddy. Turn the lightning off so I can actually see. Okay. P-Butt, could you not? I love you to bits, buddy, but it disturbs me like nothing else when you do that. He's on a box under my desk. And he's rubbing against my knee, and that's not the problem. He's rubbing against my knee with his one fang. He like pulls his lip up so that his tooth is leading his face and pushes his tooth into the side of my knee, and it gives me the willies every time he does it. I don't know why it disturbs me so much when he does that, but it does. So Bob actually kind of highlighted a couple of these trees with the other colors and left some unhighlighted. I'm just gonna kind of put in, buddy, if you disconnect a wire back there, I'm not gonna be real happy.
P-Butt, come here. Your husband, the cat, this one.
He's your cat. I don't know why he's trying to attach himself to me at the most inconvenient times. I almost have the Chungus video done. Almost. I did the first render last night when I went to bed, and that took about 2 hours, I think, because it said it was about halfway done at 51 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is gonna take a while. The grand total of the Chungus video, time-wise, is going to come in at 3 hours and 40 minutes. So that's something, I guess. Now I have to go in and lay in some background music on it. I didn't want to do it before I did the full render. I was scared. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this. I didn't want it to, like, error on me because it couldn't handle between the file size and the audio. Without the audio on it, it's sitting at 24 gigs. I was like, oh boy. That's a lot of video. That guy's gonna probably be an overnight upload to the channel. But if it's storming tonight, I'm not gonna be able, or I'm not gonna risk laying in the audio on it if it's actively storming, so that might have to wait until Tuesday. But that's okay. I've got some other stuff I can work on. Might work on our flamingo painting. That I haven't had the chance to do anything else with because I've been busy dealing with Chungus. Smooth that section down. It's still kind of bunchy in here, like a baggy t-shirt, because we haven't touched that section yet. There's been showers all around us, but it's going from Tulsa, Oklahoma up northeast into Joplin, Missouri. We've been like just getting clipped out of it. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if that's a better sign for us for later or if that's bad, because there's going to be more energy for these storms to work with. This guy, gonna just kind of try to layer in maybe about there. Oh, and sorry if you hear like a buzzing noise. I have a fan on. It's warm in here. We have a couple fans on actually. I don't have it quite blowing right at me because I didn't want it hitting the back of the microphone. But I've at least got it blowing for some sort of airflow that seems to be non-existent. I was hoping to have been able to spend yesterday putting the audio in on Chungus. However, we had an incident Saturday night that prevented that. We had to spend about an hour.
Really about 2 hours.
Was it about 2 hours? I was thinking it was closer to 2 hours, but I wasn't certain. We had to spend a little bit of time frantically trying to locate the owner of a tiny white, old as hell, possibly long-haired chihuahua that had been shaved down, that was walking with a limp, that just kind of walked through our yard and kept meandering close to the road. My mom saw it, and she's like, "There's a little dog out here." And we're like, "What?" And so we dropped everything and ran outside. And it walked right back up to Russell. It wasn't afraid of him or anything, and we were able to scoop him up, and we're like, "Where the fuck did you come from? Like, you couldn't have gone too far, as frail as you seem." And I thought it might have come from this one house, but we weren't certain. And we were trying to post on Facebook, but the one Facebook page for our town, they have to approve the posts before they go up, and I'm like, that's fucking helpful. And then I guess Doggo had quite the adventure because he threw up all over Russell. And then he wanted to cuddle, and Russell's like, "Oh, dog barf." So I went and sat with the dog. Russell was trying to post in a couple other places, and dog had rabies tags and city tags, but it was Saturday night, and animal control doesn't work on Saturday in our town. That's helpful. I thought they had 2 animal control officers. I guess that officer moved on, and now they've only got 1 again. And they only work Monday to Friday, like 8 to 5. I'm like, yeah. That's helpful. So we, after like a half an hour of dicking around, waiting to see if anybody was going to walk by looking for their dog, because we're like, the dog just ate. The dog's pretty clean. It was a little bit bony, but that could have just been from old age. We're like, we really didn't think this dog had been dumped. So we're like, there's no way. This dog is in too good of a condition. So we're like, well, maybe it just got away from somebody. And the way he was acting, he seemed like he had been a lap dog, or a guy that had been held a lot to get around. So we walked down to the one house I thought he might have come from, because I remembered hearing a small, like, grumbly dog sometimes at night when we walked past there. I hadn't heard him recently, but I do remember hearing him. But we couldn't figure out where the front door was to the house because of the way the house was laid out, and we're like, I think there was a side door a little bit closer to the driveway that we just didn't go far enough down the side street to see. But it didn't look like anybody was home either, and we're like, okay, well, maybe they got out while nobody was home. So then we walked down to the gas station, because the dog looked familiar to us, like we had seen somebody post about it getting loose before, but we weren't certain. So we walked down there. We're like, you could not have gone that far. And we're like, is anybody missing a dog? And they're like, no, it doesn't look familiar. And we're like, all right, fine. So we started to walk back home, and as we're walking back down the street towards the house, we saw this lady yelling, and we're like, oh, maybe that's dog mom. And it turned out it was somebody knew what her dog looked like and messaged her, and she's like, no, my dog's right here and she forgot she put him outside to go potty. And somehow he got out of the yard. She has no idea how. She's like, it's a fortress back there. How the hell did he get out? We're like, well, do we need to help you? Like, check the yard? She's like, no, my husband's home. He'll help me. He's on the other street looking for him. We're like, okay. So, doggo got returned. And then then we realized we had to run to the store for something, and then by the time we got settled, I had lost like 2 hours of time, and I was like, right, so we're not getting anything done tonight. Oh my god, somebody had dachshund puppies in town. They're not weaned yet. They were talking about that they were trying them on soft food, I think, today. They showed a picture of them. Oh my god. I am in love with one of them. Well, actually, there's a couple that have the same kind of coloring. They're like kind of like a frosted black and brown splotchy, and I'm just like, oh my god. Fucking adorable. I don't know if they're going to be selling them or not. We can't get another dog right now anyway, but so cute. And portable. So we like the small ones. I know we're kind of covering up most of our purple, but we are achieving what we'd set out to do, where we just kind of have the purple ones peeking out from behind. Which was the primary goal there. Although I think this glorious gold one might have been slightly more green, but you know what? It's alright. It's fine. We're not gonna sweat it. I do have a little bit of weirdness here, but I'll just extend the line of the edge of the barn over. That's fine. Again, not a big deal. Okay. So that's not looking too bad there. No, it's actually looking pretty good. Okay. Let's see. I want another little bit of our gold color. Yarn gets extra sticky when I get sweaty in here. So I just put up a severe thunderstorm watch in part of Kansas. Looks like the southeast corner of Kansas. So not us yet. Sorry, my chair is creaky. It's a creaky chair. So I rounded out my week of treadmill, having walked at least on the treadmill 10.65 miles. And that's just on the treadmill. It's not counting any walks that we did in the evening because I'm not sure how far we walked to add to it. And today I'm trying to, or this week I'm trying to increase the distance from 1.5 miles to 1.75 miles. I'm trying to get up to 2.5 miles. I'm gonna have to start getting up earlier though, if I want to get that goal before stream time in. And the whole time I'm trying to walk, my mom's yelling at me, "How long have you been on there?" Like a half hour, Mom. "You're doing too much. You're going to hurt yourself." I've literally only been walking a half an hour. It's fine. "You're gonna overdo it, Mom." It's fine. Like, Mom, stop. Like, I can't starve myself. That's not gonna work. She wanted me to cook this Easter dinner, right? And then she's like, "Well, I'll fix my own plate." I'm like, "No, you're not." And she's like, "Why?" "I'm capable of fixing my own plate." I said, "I know you're capable, but you're not going to give yourself any food." I was like, "You're going to put on like 2 bites of turkey, like barely a teaspoon of mashed potatoes." I'm like, "No, I will fix your plate. It's a freaking holiday. You're going to eat." She started laughing at us because she knew we called her on her bullshit. Like, I didn't cook all this food just to look at it. We're gonna fucking eat. Like, if I'd known you weren't gonna eat, I would have just made pizza and saved myself a lot of trouble. So I know we have a little bit of a gap here. I will fix that with the roof line when we get around to that. You okay?
Yeah, sorry, hiccup.
Alright. So I'm hoping we can get Chungus posted by Wednesday. The final bit of that. And then I've got a Bob Ross I have to get through real quick. And then I have to turn over the hard drive to the husband, so he can pull the videos from the last Bob Ross. And start his pass on that edit. Again, I'm not gonna sweat this little bit in here. We can fix that and just adjust the height of the roof a little bit. Should be alright. Because our pen lines are just sort of a suggestion of a guideline. You don't necessarily have to follow it to a T. That's looking pretty good so far. Alright. So we'll get... Oh, maybe we'll put Jute there. Alright, so that's gonna be a little bit kind of slammed in there. Again, we'll use our roof line to make any necessary adjustments. No, that one, that little thin tail I had sticking up, I just grabbed him and tacked him back down in a bigger part of the tree. Oh, we got him worked into there pretty good. Alright, let's get some of our rust color here. This is not a bad color. I like that we have some more like reddish orange options, brownish red options. I'm gonna get this guy. Okay, worked in here on the edge. Now we're probably gonna lose these trees on this side just because of the other tree that's gonna come in down here, like I said earlier, but you know. Where's the other? Oh, I'm completely covering it. Oh. Oh well. That's okay. If that's what happens, that's what happens. At the very least, it'll provide a little bit of shading back there behind it. Oh yeah, we did lose all of that tree. Oops. Oh well. That's okay. Oh, there's like a teeny tiny portion of it sticking out. We know it was there. That's all that really matters, right? You know you need to advance your radar when you start seeing severe thunderstorm warnings pop up and there's like no storm with it. It's like, huh? I don't understand. Alright, so this guy. See if we can get you kind of worked into here. Okay. And then I think we'll put in a couple of yellow guys. Okay. So I think we'll do maybe 2 more yellow guys in there. Sounds like a plan. And then I can show you guys what I picked up from Michael's. Okay. So I get a little bit of water on this one. Flare out our bottom here. Lost my tool. There it is. All right. So we'll get you kind of worked in here. Kind of like these trees. They feel slightly folk arty, but not exactly. Our teardrop trees. Or our rounded pizza trees. That could also work. Okay. Remember, we want to pop up off of the mat every so often so we don't become too attached. If you're using like foam, it might not be so much of a thing you need to think about. I mean, you can still get attached to the foam, but I think you'll have an easier time getting it to pull off. But when you've got like a fabric based mat, you don't want to become too attached to it, because then trying to release off of it at the end is going to be not so fun. I think we need just a teeny bit more. That might be too much. A little bit more water. So I hope everybody's week started out okay. Mondays have a reputation for not being so kind. but hopefully yours was kind to you. At least so far. I know there's still a bit of Monday left. So I just want to, if you're getting a little bit of resistance going in, that's probably pretty thick in that section. So just slow it down a little. Because if you go too hard in a section that you're having some trouble getting into, you're liable to snap your needle. Wasn't sure if I had something in the pad there that I was hitting. Now those went in pretty quick, all things considered. I don't think we're done with that color yet, so let me take a moment to pause and show you what all I got from Michaels. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these 6x6 guys. It's not a bad size. And let's see, we got 3 white 8x8s. Is anybody else how to word this? An odd person where they love the smell of a canvas when you fresh open it, like the whatever they make the stretcher bars out of. It smells good. There's no other smell like it. I got 2 upside down. I got 2 packs. So 4 black square canvas 8x8. These are surprisingly heavy, I will say. Just funny because their frames look like pressboard. I got 3 10x10 rounds. I've not done a round canvas before, so that should be interesting. And then I got 3 white 10x10s. It was such a good canvas sale. I could not get any. Even if it's gonna take me a while to get through those. The sale was too good to ignore. 70% off. And then I got 2 of these. They were supposed to be just white, but they ended up giving me a silver, a gold, and a white. So we'll see how these work. I haven't tried them yet. And that's what we got from Michaels. Alright. Now, I think we're gonna start to lay in our barn. I think. Let's see, Bob. What have you got for me, Bob? It's Advance Our Tutorial. So he's kind of like adding in this weird green hue to the ground that I don't quite understand. So now he's gonna scrape all that off to scrape out his barn shape, which is why I was like, yeah, we'll just not put anything in there, because he can scrape the extra paint off and make it easier to put in. I don't want to scrape out all that. Well, it's just easier to work around where the shape's gonna be. And the thing of it is, you can't really see very well when he's up in the sky. It's a very different shape than it ends up being, I think, but maybe I'm just having trouble seeing it, which is entirely possible. Okay, so he starts to pull that in. Kind of scraping that color in. The fuck? That was not how... I thought that shape was gonna go. Because, I mean, we just saw the finished one of it when we were looking at the final piece. Okay, I kind of see it now. It's peeked forward where that little circular thing is that he puts in for, like, that pulley wheel to get stuff up to the upper floor. So, looking at how he did it, might change how we try to put this in here. So he's kind of putting in some shingles. We could always omit that because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it where it's going to look right. So then okay, so he put like a white trim on that section. I don't know, Bob. Alright, well, let's back up. I guess, oh, hello, tornado watch. Just flashed up. It's not quite to the state line. That's still in Oklahoma. How late is theirs going till? 9 p.m. There's still time for us to be added to it, so. Oh, goody. Alright. We need... brown. We need the right shade of brown. Oh. We might have to fluff more of this brown. Maybe. It's not a whole lot of brown. Okay. So I think first what we're gonna start off with here is just kind of lining out this guy. So my barn's slightly different shaped. Alright, I'm gonna turn this guy sideways just so we can get in here. I don't quite know how I want to handle this. We might omit that little peaky thingy. We're at a slightly different angle here. I know this is upside down at the moment. I think this might be more... Ooh, almost cut the felt there. Or I did, but it didn't actually cut it. This might be a bit more beneficial to us. Doing it this way. I didn't quite have the height on that we needed. Hang on, maybe I do need it this way. Well, that can be slightly slanted. I mean, that should be alright. So, let's see what we can do here. That was a very loud pickup truck. Alright, let's see here. Get this kind of tapped into here. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to brush that section down. Okay. So there's still a slight gap in there that I do want to take care of. So I need to thicken up that just a little bit. I don't want the weird seam there, so I might have to come up into the blue a little bit more. But let's see what we can do here. Alright, that's not bad. Okay, so get a little bit more water here just to tighten this guy up a bit. Okay, I'm gonna thicken this section. Just a little bit more. So that way we don't have any weird little gappy guys happening. Getting the edge next to that too, so that way everybody still looks pretty good up in there. Okay, get this. It's okay if I come over into the blue a little bit more. We'll be fine. Now the whole base color of this thing is supposed to be this dark brown. So we're probably gonna have to work this in stages, more than likely. So that way we don't lose our place. As we are putting everything in. So we're getting them outlined. Okay, you don't want to be a part of this. That's fine. You don't have to be. In fact, this might not all end up in here. Have to see how we go. So let me start attaching that. I'm going to kind of overlap what we did already a little bit. Right now I'm more worried about the outer edge than the inner. Right, because that inner is gonna end up getting filled in. So It's this outer guy that I don't want being too crazy at the moment. Okay. So then this guy, gonna pull. Well, we're gonna try to pull it. Hopefully we can get that in there. Got it being a little too funky. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, see if I can get this guy a little bit thinner. So I want to, like I said, my angles aren't going to be exactly the same as Bob's, and that's okay. Bob's barn's a little bit different. Our barn's a little bit different. Maybe our barn doesn't have that weird little pitchy thing on it. And that's okay. And they redid the roof on our barn. And that bit got torn down because the wood on that was starting to rot. So, you know, for safety's sake. So the roof on our guy is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to work in our outline at the moment. As best as we can. And I'm just using our dark chocolate brown. It's the darkest brown that I've got at the moment. So this is chocolate from Big Twist. I have another one called Coffee Bean from Paintbox that's similar, but not quite. I think it's close. It's a little bit lighter, but not by a huge amount. So again, I'm just getting our rough outline in because we're going to have to work on this guy in stages. So we're going to have to fill him in. Solid with our base color here. got a little thinned out there. And that's okay. Alright, I'm gonna snip carefully our little tail there. I mean, I could have just flipped them down and or taken them around the corner and filled in the top section there a little bit more. Either one of those would have been a fine way to handle the little tail. There was some water drops there on the edge of the desk that I was just trying to grab. Take this little guy. And it's okay if our outline's not 100% on point. I'm just trying to make sure we don't lose our lines as we are filling in here. So yeah, it's fine. Okay, another little bit here. Getting a little bit of water there. We'll fill in this guy. Alright, so I'm going to take the little tail on this one and flip that guy up. So we got that outline there. Alright, what is this notification? Oh. Twitch has added 5 new categories that we can stream to, apparently. That's interesting. I wonder what they are. Let me see. Can I open... Let's open a new tab. I was gonna say, really? No, I don't see it. Huh? Check out these new categories that are live today for no specific reason at all. Oh, maybe this is April Fool's something. It might be. really wish people would stop doing that. Because the world is so outrageous nowadays that people might actually believe you. And then you have to backtrack on it and be like, no, no, it was just a joke. I'm not real big into April Fool's pranks. I think they're dumb, personally. If you enjoy them, that's fine. Just, you know, don't April Fool's prank me, please, because I'm not going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to think you're funny. There was a lot of sadness going around Twitter right before I got started because Studio Ghibli posted a photo of a poster for My Neighbor Totoro 2, where one kid grew up and had a kid, and people are like, oh my god, they're really, like, everybody was so excited and happy, and then somebody in the comments goes, guys, it's April 1st. There's no way this is real. And I thought it was odd. And somebody else is like, guys, this dropped 20 years ago. The original, there's no way they're doing a sequel 20 years later. It's just not. So then there was all of the sadness ever. People were upset. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't land real well now, did it? Alright. A little bit more water on that. See, this is why you don't do the pranks. Okay. This piece might be a little bit thick. But we'll see if we can get it thinned down a bit. As we attach this guy in. You alright, Momo? What's the matter? You seriously need to go potty again?
No. On the pad, buddy.
He's not, he just came from there. He's not happy. He probably tried to pee out there like 5 times. Alright guys, give me a couple minutes. Let me get the dog out. You sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, never mind.
Do you need the pee-pee? Why'd you look it up? You need the pee-pee? Come on.
Go ahead, go with Dad.
Wanna go potty?
Come on, let's go.
No, looks like a no.
Momo.
There
I had to actually start to get up.
You know, I'm the one who has to sit out there with you. I'm the one who sits out there and gives you outside time, and then you just sit there and ignore me. What kind of deal is that?
It's the Momo deal.
But mommy has to get up for us to get moving.
I don't understand it either. Get that worked into there. Get all of our little loose ends attached. Doggo's like, you've been streaming for 2 hours. That's enough. And I'm like, Oh, no, doggo, we're not done yet. Alright, now we've got still a little bunchy in there, but I think once we start getting our color laid in there, that'll start to take care of that. Did he pee?
No, he didn't even try this time.
Momo.
He wandered over in the direction of our neighbor, looked around, and then came back. I wonder if you're feeling the thing coming in, buddy.
Are you just needing a goodie? Are you hungry? Maybe you were looking for a goodie for having peed on the pad.
Is that what this is? Is this about a treat? You want a treat? Yeah, okay. Okay,
His little tail went like, yes. Ah, Momo. You brat. Just Momo things. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, why is it so melty in here? I am so fucking hot. So where did we... So is this on an angle then? Cause... Or are we just gonna take this guy straight across? I guess we'll take him straight across, maybe? Probably should have been up a little bit higher. Well, we'll get it figured out eventually. I mean, eventually. Might have to adjust our lines a little bit. I think this guy might end up outlined in a bit of black when we're all said and done. Let's get a little bit more fluff and stuff. It says it's 75 out, but on Windows 11. I don't really necessarily believe that. What's the humidity though? Humidity is 67%. Ugh. Gross. And it is 76 according to our local news station. So let's get our door lined in here. Now a lot of this is probably going to end up getting outlined in black after we get the base color in, just to kind of help pick out our necessary sharp edges where they need to be. More than likely. This guy's about in here. Let's see if I can turn you without losing too much of our squareness for our door. Alright, the window, I don't know. Do we really need to outline that? That's just like gonna be like a black smudgy guy, I think. Alright, maybe we should see if I can get this thin enough to outline it. So like I know our barn doesn't look exactly the same. That's okay. We'll still be okay. Alright. I guess we'll do this just so we don't lose the approximate location of our window guy. That put into there. Snip, snip. Okay. And we'll tack down that corner right there. Okay. So it's just a quick outline so we don't lose our shapies. And now let's start to fill this guy in. Shall we? So let's start to fill in the base color of our roof here. And then we'll kind of go from there. Then we'll be able to get this area start to less baggy. It'll tighten up a bit, or start to. Now that we're starting to fill in some color. In this section. Where'd you go? Really? It's gonna be dinner soon. Alright, so we'll get this guy. Need to figure out where the edge of that bit of roofline is gonna hang out. That I still need to figure out. Okay, so let me, oh, uh-oh. There we go. It's had to be a little bit more gentle with that section. And that is why you want to make sure you are lifting up every so often off of your fabric mat. I still have to kind of figure out how I'm going to handle that. So again, we're just kind of filling in the inside of this shape. Don't know which size shape you would want to define that as, just a shape. So that piece was a little short. That's okay. Not a huge deal. Okay. Pop that guy up. Now, you don't necessarily have to do the brushing down on the back part. It's just something I do. I have found that when doing this, that almost kind of helps keep things be a little bit more flat. Doesn't always work, but it kind of keeps things from being a little too like peak and valley. That on like weird indents. If you start layering too much up in one area, it feels like things tend to sink in, at least for me. If I do that, it kind of keeps the front a little bit more even. Unless you want it bumpy in some spots. If that's, hey, you want it bumpy, then you, oh, shit. I leaned back and my spine just clicked. Oh boy. That's not fun. Didn't necessarily hurt, it was just a surprise. Like if you want your trees bumped out, then you can always, like a little bit more three-dimensional, you can always felt your shape a bit before you attach it. If you kind of want like a bump out 3D domed effect on them, if that's what you're looking for, then hey, go for it. All means. Oh, it is so hot in here. I feel like I am melting. I mean, it doesn't help that I've got these lights on, but they're all LED. So they really shouldn't be putting out all that much heat. Though I do have pants on, so that's probably not helping. Alright, let's see. Let's pop this guy up gently. And we'll see where we're at. So we do have a little bit of the section in there that didn't get tapped into, and yeah, you can kind of see in there. Alright, so let's grab a bit more of our brown. Sorry, I was just checking on the weather real quick. It's gonna be one of those days. We're still sitting okay. Oh, they put a severe thunderstorm watch up in Texas, too. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. So if you're in Texas, be aware. Not all of Texas, just a part of Texas. Where at? Near Abilene and San Angelo. That kind of area. So if you live near those cities, you might want to go check your weather. Sorry, it's severe spring season here, so we have to keep tabs on what's happening. We don't want to have our head too far in the sand while we're streaming and be caught unawares of something heading our way. Especially when they've been talking today up for a couple of days. Just trying to keep ourselves in the know so we can be safe. Okay. So we've got this section in here that we kind of missed that chunk, so we'll kind of just put this patch right over that, and that should cover up that section. As best as we can. So we're going to do this in stages, right? So we're going to fill in this side of the roof. We might not work at the same pace that Bob is, and we might jump around a little bit more than Bob does on this guy, on this particular building. So we're going to put in our base color in this section, and then we're going to put the roof shingles on. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that yet. I'm kind of hoping something strikes me as we go, but it might just kind of be laid on there, and then I might have to come back in and add the little shingle separators potentially. Oh, I've got fuzz sticking to my face. It's that warm in here. Okay. Alright. Let's grab a bit more. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water on that. Make it a little bit easier. And maybe it'll stick to itself instead of me. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn this guy so I can get our back edge filled in here. So Bob just kind of slaps the color on in there with his knife. But I don't want to lose the shape of our building, which I am liable to do. if I just fill in everything at once. So that's why we're gonna do this in stages. But our background trees went in fairly well today. I'm pretty happy with that. And those look pretty darn good, even if they are just a simple tree. Sometimes it's hard to pull off a simple tree, you know? We get so focused on all the little details on it. Alright, so just making sure all this is attached here. Again, sorry there was no stream yesterday, but I did have to cook for Easter dinner. Oh, alright, so we have a little bit of the blue poking through there, so we didn't quite get that spot as thick as I would have liked. So I'm going to come back in, even though we are doing a roof color on top of this. It might be a little bit thin, so it's just easier to fix this now. At least for me. You can see how this is like getting a little bit pulled up. That's because we're pulling the fibers in this section tighter. That's okay. That's fine. Don't panic. You're good. Now our base piece, if you're new here, that we are needle felting into is just a piece of craft felt. Nothing fancy. We do this on as much of a budget as we can. So I use yarn instead of roving. It's pretty much, I think, mostly acrylic yarn. I do have a little bit of roving, not very much though, like not enough to do a full piece at this size. So this is approximately 8 by 10. It'll probably be a little bit under that when we are all said and done, just because of shrinkage as we're working. So it's the back side of it so far. Kind of get the idea from the back of it. Alright. But we're not here to see the back. We are here to work on front. Is that fan in the window still running?
Yeah.
It's been windy for days, and it seems it's a little breezy outside at times, but I guess the wind direction is not coming in our window. Whew. Now, if you are also new, we do have a link to the tutorial pinned in the chat. And that will take you to this tutorial that Bob is doing, Bob's tutorial, in full on his YouTube page. I have it muted. I do have closed captions on, but they're so tiny I don't know if you can read it. And we spend a lot of the time with his in pause. Because this medium's a lot slower than paint for me. Like, heap tons slower. What the hell was that?
Probably can't be bullshit.
That was outside.
Was it?
Yeah.
It sounded like it came from the other direction.
No, that was outside.
Alright, nothing down.
Nothing fell off this chair here in front of my window.
If it did, I didn't see what anything it was.
Because it sounded like something crunched. It sounded like it came from in front of me.
Nope.
What the hell? That was very strange. I swear that came from in front of me. I'm like facing a window that's on our porch, so. But I can't see out that window because I've got a curtain over it and my monitor's in front of it, so I have no idea what actually made the noise. If we'd had a slightly bit more room in a different direction, I would have turned my desk a slightly different way, but that wasn't gonna quite work with the space we had available. All right. So we'll get that worked into there, and that should cover that last open bit that we had, I think, at least in that section. Alright, that looks fairly good right there. Alright, so that part is okay. Alright, now let's see. So if we look at our test sketch here, we need a little bit of nope, that's not it. There we go. Need a little bit of black. And we are going to kind of outline this bit. Along this upper edge here. we've got a little bit of a shadow. Bob's not quite there yet. Like I said, we're probably going to jump around just a little bit to suit our needs. A bit here. Alright, so we'll get this attached right here. If you hear any typing in the background, that is going to be the husband. My microphone loves to pick up his keyboard, and there's nothing we can really do about that. So, sorry if that's driving you crazy, but now you know where the typing sound is coming from. We will get this outer edge here with a bit of our shadowy color here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and snip that little tail, and I want to come back in and tap down our little tail just to make sure I don't have any those loose little fuzzes. Okay, now carefully pop that up. Probably time for us to rotate our mat, because we haven't done that in a little bit. Alright, now you need to get out of the way. Go over there. Okay. So this guy, we are gonna get the top edge of. Didn't look like that was quite attached enough. Looked like it was still a little raised up there, so I wasn't sure if I'd actually gotten it. My hand-eye coordination is not always the greatest. As long as we don't stab ourselves though, right? That's the important part, I suppose. And these are very sharp. That's why I've got these on. So that we can try to protect our fingers, at least a couple of them, if at all possible. All right. A little bit more water here. So I dripped it everywhere. That's a little too thick. Alright, that's probably not so bad. So it is going to thin down a little bit as we attach it. So that little tail there, gonna just kind of pop up into there. It's like I still had a slight thin spot there in the brown, but maybe not. It might have just been the way the light was hitting it. So just kind of trying to give this back edge at the moment a little bit of an outline. Just so we have a little bit of separation, or maybe a shadow appearance on this roof. As we get into there. Alright, so I've got this little guy left here, kind of hanging off. So, probably just gonna see him down all the way along this back edge here. Okay. Alright, that kind of pushes our trees to the back in that section. Alright. So, stick a brown back in the brown bag. And the black back into the black bag for the moment. Alright, so what color? Let me look at our notes here. Where's the barn? Where's our barn roof? Brown, red, and white, huh? So what did we do? We did chocolate brown, cinnamon, white, and black. Well, we've done the chocolate brown. We've done the black. Let's find our cinnamon color. There it is. Kind of like a rusty... It's more red than the rust color, actually. I'd call this more rust than that. But I don't name the yarn colors. Probably better that I don't. Okay. So, we've got a couple of options here. We could do little rolls of color all the way down. We could do little rolls of color this way. And then like maybe do some shingle separating lines on the way up. Or we could do it real wispy and have it make it look like the barn roof is like dirty. And just have whatever colors peeking through. Let's see. Let's see here. So the roof has a couple of angles on it, because Bob got fancy on us with this guy. So how about we just kind of fill in some strips of color here, and then we'll worry about coming back in with some black once we get our color laid out here. I don't want this super tight. So, like, it's gonna be okay if we have some brown peeking through. This doesn't need to be fully solid. Necessarily. So I'm kind of working from bottom up instead of top down, because you know I have to do everything half-assed backwards because that's just how my brain works. I'm able to get the spacing a little bit better situated going in that direction. If anybody's in Oklahoma, make sure you're paying attention to your weather today too. Oop, dropped my needle. Oh, hey, piece of black back there. Because you guys are in for a rough night as well, at least in part of the state. Looks like your tornado watch is going till 9. We are not in one just yet. However, I feel like the night is young. And it probably will happen. So we are omitting the weird little pulley wheel at the front of the barn near the window, like above it, because I just couldn't get the angle quite right. So that was a battle I decided to just let go. So when we were doing our concept sketch with our colored pencils that we did real quick, we were just looking at the finished piece, and we didn't go through the whole tutorial then to see how he was putting it together. So, like, I kind of get the angle that he worked on now a little bit, but at that point I also didn't really feel like changing how I had set our angle up here. And that's okay. Doesn't have to look exactly like his. Everything's good. As Bob says, it is our world. If we want an extra tree, we can put an extra tree. If our sky is purple, then our sky is purple. Although if our sky is purple, I think we've got some problems, but our sky looked kind of purple earlier. Hey, 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 hey.
Go on, P-Butt.
Who's getting fussy?
I accidentally nudged Little while she was sleeping, so now she's all wound up, and P-Butt was getting close.
Oh.
It's okay, Little. Oh my goodness.
Little does not like being disturbed. And she also really doesn't like Ed and Peabody. For some reason, cows she's okay with. And the only thing I can think of is because Cal doesn't give off alpha cat vibes. I kind of feel like Ed's in charge and Peabut is second in command. Because Peabut didn't want to be in charge. And Little very much wants to be in charge of the house. So, her and Ed kind of don't get along. Not anywhere near like how Mai didn't get along with the boys. Little can hold her own and does quite frequently. If you're a frequenter in the stream, I'm sure you've heard Little let out a couple of unhappy cat noises at Ed when he's walked by her a few times, so. She definitely doesn't hold any punches. Sometimes Ed chases her angrily, sometimes she's chasing Ed angrily. Sometimes Ed's not allowed to walk by her without her putting him in his place, you know. Cat things. I swear, if our low temperatures weren't going to drop into the 30s tomorrow night, I would be putting the air conditioner on. I am so hot. I feel like I just got off the treadmill level hot. Who's under my desk? There's some kind of cat under there. Peabut. Should have known. As he climbs into my stuffed animal collection. Knocking them everywhere. Okay, so it's a little uneven, but that's all right. Because we're gonna get this upper bit here. I mean, so it's kind of hard to see the red on there. Okay. A little out of focus, but you can kind of see the red going in. Okay, so get this kind of tucked in at the top. Some of the colors are a little harder to see on stream at times because of the way the lights are. But as we get this guy filled in and more of the gray vanished here, that should start to be a little bit more apparent. Must be 3:30. Yep, school bus is dropping off next door. It feels like they had spring break too early. It feels like spring break should have been going into Easter. But I feel like they had spring break the week before Easter. Like a full week before. felt a little early to me for the grade school. I guess we could have just done it straight down and then kind of put the angles back in with some black, I suppose. So just want to get a little bit of our loose ends tapped down there. Make sure everybody's good. Sometimes when you've got the thinner pieces, those can actually be a little bit fussier to get attached. Alright, so let's pop you up here. Okay, so that's not doing too bad there. You know what? Let's go with that. That piece kind of took on that shape while I was holding it, so let's roll with it. Why not? Why not? Alright, so we'll get this worked into there, and that kind of works out because we do have some of our dark brown base kind of coming up through that color in spots where it kind of looks like, you know, just dirt that accumulated on the roof. So get that worked into there. Alright, it's not so bad. Oh, it is funny though that this back edge looks a little bit brighter than the front edge. We might have to lay down one more piece on there. On the front. That's alright. Okay. So we'll get this piece. Situated for this front section here. A little bit of black to get our edge here, and then I'll probably come back in with a little touch of white on that front edge. Just make sure everybody in there is looking good. This bit of the roof is separated from the bottom section. we'll get that laid in there. All right. All right, that section of our roof is in place there. They extended the tornado watch up into Missouri. We are flanked on 2 sides by it. I wonder if it's gonna go around us and we're not gonna end up getting anything. That would make them look real dumb. Although there's some showers starting to materialize over top of us, so we still might get something. How late is the tornado watch in Missouri? Until 11. Wow. Oh, and 3 counties in Kansas. Oh yeah, okay. It's gonna be a long weather night, that's for sure. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a line separation here. Not too much of one. I want to keep it kind of thin. So I might not go back in and do the shingle lines, so that way we don't lose this little guy that kind of separates where the roof kind of does its thing. Alright. I think we might leave it at that. Okay, so we need a little bit more of our dark brown. Right? And we will work on getting the bottom section of this guy filled in a bit. As we can here. All right, need to take that down a little bit further. Then we're gonna do the same bit of roof tile, shingles, whatever you want to call them, on this lower section too. Okay. So I'm gonna trim that. Just so we can clean that up a little bit. Alright, so pop that guy up. Alrighty. I put a black shirt on before I started this. You can see all this fuzz attached to me. For some reason, the couple of black shirts that I own are magnets, and I don't understand why. They are absolute magnets for every bit of fluff, fuzz, dog hair, cat hair in this house. Even if I haven't picked up anybody, it's everywhere. I'm gonna have to change my shirt before I make dinner. So we are just gonna do leftovers from yesterday, although I do have to make some more potatoes.
I did clean that this morning, by the way.
Huh?
I cleaned the thing this morning.
Oh, okay, so we can use that again?
Yeah.
Okay. Our electric kettle needed a good cleaning. It had been a while. Longer than it should have been. I think it's one of those things that we forget, because it's like, oh, well, it had hot water in it. But it needed some TLC. All right. We actually made quite a bit of progress today. I am fairly happy with where we're sitting since we didn't stream yesterday. For us, this was pretty good. Time-wise, so far. This might be a quicker one, although I'm gonna say that, and then we'll probably get stymied with the grass. But so far, we'll see how many sessions this one takes. I think our shortest one on this season might have been 11 sessions. Maybe. It's either 11 or 12. And it might have been Quiet Inlet. Potentially. I'll have to go back and check. But I'm just excited that we're down to the home stretch on the Chungus final video. Just have to pop the background audio in on that. I say it like that's gonna be super quick. It's not. But at least all the major editing's done on that one. So yay. Alright, let's see here. finish filling in this section of roof. So when each of these large needle felt projects are completed, I go back and smush all of the sessions that we've live streamed into one video, drastically sped up, so that way you can see the sped up finished one right after all of the live stream sessions it took to get there, in case you don't want to sit through all of the live streams. Those are archived on the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is the same name as here. There should be a link somewhere down below, maybe, or on the about page, that will take you over to that. I do owe you guys 2 of those at the moment. One of those will happen shortly, maybe within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and the other one shortly thereafter. And if I have the sped up final project of it completed, it will be right after the individual live stream sessions in the playlist, and those are all on the Nisey Needle Felts playlist. Alright, let's see. Still, it's not looking so bad from the back either. Alright. So, let me tuck the brown back in its bag so we don't lose it. Get a little bit more of our cinnamon. Alright. Again, I don't want it super tight. Because I kind of want some of that brown peeking through from underneath. If we roll that too tight, then we won't see that. But if you don't want any of the brown peeking through on yours, you can roll it as tight as you want. Well, don't go too tight, because then you won't get the needle through it, but you get what I mean. Alright, so let's trim that edge up. And we'll get this little bit put into here. Sorry, I did a double take when I glanced at the radar. I was like, wait, are we in the tornado watch now? No, it's up to the state line. Okay. Next bit in here, I'm probably gonna need to get another section here. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Sorry. I felt it, and then it kind of stopped. Excuse me. So I thought maybe it was a false alarm. No. It's just toying with me. Excuse me. Oh, it is getting later in the afternoon. So it's about right. Oh my goodness. Our allergies have been just awful. Ever since we got back from our trip, so make of that what you will. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Oh, we're almost done. Oh. Good thing too, because it is so hot in here. Everything is sticking to me. I like this stuff, but not when it's sticking to my face when it's getting caught up in the fan. That I can do without. Okay, so we'll get this last bit of cinnamon in here. On this section of the roof. Okay, and we will trim that bit. And get those little pieces from the trim anchored down. Okay, so there's that, and then we need a little bit more black to finish our outline here of this section. Okay, so this guy's gonna set up into there. Now it's okay that I came over the brown a little bit there because we will be refilling in that section. So that's okay. No big deal there. That's fine. Oh my god, my sinuses have decided to wage war on me all of a sudden. Sorry for the snuffles. Okay. And then we'll take this piece up to there. And we'll just tuck that little tail into there. Alright, I just want to go back over this real quick, one more pass. Make sure that is all attached in there. And let's pop that guy up. Alright, so we are off to a fairly good start. I think we've got that one side of the roof in. And I think that will do it for today. We'll be back on Thursday with Coral Islands. Providing we don't have any more house emergencies. Hopefully we don't. So schedule this week looks like Coral Island on Thursday. We'll be back in Planet Zoo on Friday working on our spider exhibit layout. I might change the shape of the layout a little bit. We'll see. I'm still kind of trying to figure that out in my brain. Saturday we will be finishing painting our trailer birdhouse. We finished the lime one last week. And then Sunday we'll be back working on this guy. So, and next Monday. So that's kind of what the next week's schedule looks like. Hopefully we can get a full weekend without anything going wrong. If you are any place experiencing icky weather tonight, make sure you're staying aware and you have a way to get weather alerts. There's a link down below for all the socially things, for the Twitter, the Ko-fi, the Instagram, and the YouTube channel. And I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. I do greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody, and I will see you on Thursday. Have a good night.